No, I can't.
If this is somebody Hey everybody, welcome to our Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. We are going to get started.
Nice to see everyone.
It is nice to see everyone.
Last month when I wasn't here, so I'm back.
I was going to not wear my glasses, but darn it, I can't see. All right, I am going to make our special guest a panelist so that she can do what she needs to do and share her screen.
Hi,
Laurie. Excuse me. All right, we are going to get started here shortly. I think Russ has a couple of things that he wants to announce.
I thought we were doing that after.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll hold off on that until the end.
All right. Okay, then. All right, so then we will unmute Laurie and get us going on.
There.
Hi, Laurie.
Hello. Let's move my camera here.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Dan, you need to come help me, honey.
We'll let Laurie get her audio situation going on here. And while she's doing that, I'm just going to give you a quick little tap dance. That's what we do, right? We tap dance. And take off my glasses. I'm trying not to. Okay, so this is a little personal side note about me. These glasses represent me hiding. See, when I put these on, I magically feel like no one can see me. It's kind of weird. So I am working on being a better version of myself and not hiding behind those glasses. So I'm only going to put them on when I need to read something. All right.
I don't know why
So let's go ahead and get going here. We invited our beautiful upline, Laurie Langfitt. She is a blue diamond in our upline, and she is very special. She has an amazing background that I know that she's going to weave into her presentation. And the presentation that she is going to be giving us tonight.
There we are. Yay.
I hear you now.
Okay.
So the presentation that Laurie is going to be presenting to us is called The Biology of Belief. And I think this is really cool because she's going to be weaving science in with our emotional belief in ourselves and in our abilities to do what we do. And I'm really excited to hear this presentation. She actually presented this for the first time at base camp, and it was received with standing ovation, and everybody just loved it. And so then she was asked again to present the same presentation in Anchorage for was it a wellness summit or post-convention? Yeah.
Wellness summit, I think.
Wellness summit. And again, it was received with great adoration and applause. And so I think it's very honored that we get to have Laurie present this for our team. This is so cool. And I really, really love Laurie, and she's a great leader, and she believes in people, and she's got a huge heart. And I really adore this woman, and I'm really excited to have her present to our team. So with that, I'm going to mute Russ and I will work the chat if anybody has questions, and you just do your thing. If you need to share your presentation, just do what you need to do, Laurie.
All right. I think I just click on share down here. First
Yes.
of all, thank you for having me on here. I just feel so honored to be with you guys.
You're
It's
welcome.
so nice that I know quite a few of you hands-on. All right. So I'm just going to click share and just jump right in here. Let's see. I think I can just click right here. All right, so let's start from the beginning though, right? All right, so you guys can all see my screen? Just do thumbs up. All right. So this is a picture taken of me a few years ago with one of my horses. This is Cool Hand Luke. He's a big 2,000-pound boy. And welcome to Biology of the Belief. I actually created this little PowerPoint, but didn't really present it in Alaska or anything. I signed up in doTERRA while I was living in Alaska in January 2011. Betty and I had worked together in 2 other companies, but not really on the same upline, downline, so that's how we knew each other. And she sent me some lemon, lavender, and peppermint after I contacted her and wanted to know what she was doing. So this was thinking about what I was going to do with my life. And we'll just start right out here. I think it's interesting. Again, this was written in 2011, so you'll see how it plays out and why it was so interesting to present it, and powerful hands-on proof of how with what you write down is really helpful for you for manifesting. Here we go. All right, believe, the biology of belief, stunning new scientific discoveries about the biochemical effects of the brain's functioning show that all the cells of our body are affected by our thoughts. So my motivation for creating this class was I wanted to create something magnificent for myself and my family. And we're talking about just thinking about what I wanted in doTERRA. doTERRA was proving itself to be stable. It was growing. It's a loving company, and I felt I could depend on it for years to come. So most of us, we limit our dreams to fit our income. So I've heard about fitting your income to your dreams. So I would like to do that. So how do you do that? You can think of things like, if I did win the lottery, if I won like $100 million, like what would I do with it? Because sometimes when we're financially strapped, we just quit dreaming. We're just trying to pay our rent or pay the grocery bill, or we need a new car or something's coming up like that. So at that time I was 51, I'll be 57 in March. I've been through some extreme ups and downs. So how do I create for my family a ranch home that I've always dreamed of? And I want financial security and financial freedom. So again, 6 years ago. Translation, I'm going to have to do something different than I've ever done before to create prosperity again and sustain it. All right, I'm going to scoot this over here a little bit. What kind of special, coming around the mountain again, you guys all heard about that? What kind of repeat energy patterns do you have in your life? Do you have any? Put another way, what things keep happening over and over again? What do you keep creating over and over again? We are born into an energy pattern. Unless we do something to change that inner pattern, we actually die with that same energy pattern. So insight from me on a repeat pattern. So I'm just going to give you an example from my life. When I was about 14, we had a house that burned down. Before that, we had also moved around a lot. Now that house was really special to me. It was just an old house. It was an old salt box style house, but it was a big house, and it was the happiest our family had ever been. And when it burned down, we had to move suddenly. We had to move away from my school that I loved so much and my friends, and we had to move into a camper while we moved on to another place and had to work on a house there. And during my life, I lost 2 separate houses due to divorce. And my first husband I was married to for about 13 years, and I lost a house there. My second husband got into meth. I was married to him for a few years, and very heartbreaking situation. I raised 2 little baby girls of his like my own. And when he took off, I lost my house, my car. I was in a network marketing company at that time with about $12,000 a month income. That company proved to not be very trustworthy, so I left my check on the table and thought that I could do this other network marketing thing and do really well in it immediately, and of course that didn't work out. So I went through a period there, boy, I just wasn't going to do network marketing ever again. When I was 18, for the very first time in my life, I saw these multi-million-dollar homes. I was raised here in Idaho, and it was at a place called McCall, Idaho. And I wondered, wow, how do people get these houses? I'd never seen anything like it. And then I found out that there were summer homes. They weren't even homes they lived in year-round. It just blew my mind. And each home was worth $1 million or more. I'm thinking, man, you could buy thousands of acres here in Idaho for that. It just didn't fit into my scope of reality at all. So I developed a belief early on that a safe, stable, beautiful home was not for me. I also wondered how people got the money for those houses, because I didn't see it in my environment. So writing affirmations for any area you're working on in your life. This really changed my life a few years ago when I started listening to Louise Hay, writing down affirmations. And I got this computer. It's called the Zyto Scanner. It's for physicians. And it's about a $12,000, $13,000 program I have on my computer. And it can scan you also on affirmations. It'll scan you on 185 of them and show you the one that your body liked the most. So I started writing them down. And so things that I wrote down is, I now take the initiative to create my life the way I want it. I am worthy of an intimate, passionate relationship. I am free to be happy and healthy. And I deserve the very best that life has to offer. And I have another presentation. I'll do another time for you guys about affirmations and give you more information on that. So repeats in relationships. This is the area I decided to work on. As a child, I had learned to believe that people were not safe. So my dad's a real sweetheart in a lot of ways. He's a very complex person. Just how great and good he is, he's equally as rotten. He's just a little scoundrel and a rascal. He's still alive. He's 78 years old. He drives truck full time still. Pretty much coined the whole phrase about redneck is totally based on him, I think. And he's really changed a lot over the last 10 years or so as he's getting older and softer and gentler and kinder. But he would yell at us and scream at us and kick at us, and we were always, never knew if we were safe around him. And it didn't help that my mom is very stoic and kind of shy and kind of shut down and didn't really know how to defend us and stick up for us and help us. So I didn't get a lot from my home environment to know how to have healthy relationships and cope with that kind of. And then we had other things happen in the family too, that we won't really get into, but basically just trust me when I say that there's a reason why I loved horses more than people for most of my life and most of my childhood. I would just get on a horse and get away from everybody. The heck with you crazy people, right? And later on, what I did is I didn't realize it, but because I didn't know how to recognize who is safe and who isn't, and I'm talking even emotionally, not just physically, I would surround myself with what felt comfortable to me, which is going to be people that aren't safe emotionally. So what does that mean? Not safe to trust your secrets to. Maybe act one way, then they're really another, not being able to discern those kind of things. So childhood program in my belief system, including men aren't safe. Not only are they not safe, they're not going to protect you, they're going to hurt you. And wealth, for some reason, was not in my cards, not for me. And I better learn to take care of myself, my mother, and my siblings, so that extreme self-sufficiency. And we were all intimidated and controlled by my dad's dysfunction, mostly the anger. So manifesting an entirely different kind of life. So what I did, gosh, in about 2008, I wrote down all the qualities I wanted for a perfect man for me, and then asked myself, am I these things? Because we do think about the perfect person we want to bring into our business. Who do we need to be to take care of that person and mentor them and work with them and enjoy them and attract them? So what we think about, we want, but not often enough at what we're attracting. Like attracts like. So the most important thing for me was an emotionally stable and happy man, addiction-free and emotionally available. So take what you know you don't want. Okay, write down all the things you don't want. But then you want to turn that around and write down what you do want. Because some people call it the universe, but really it's a prayer. An affirmation is a prayer. We need to be really clear. We want to be talking about the things we want. So again, take what you don't want, make your list of what you do want from that. So be honest with yourself on mistakes as far as what we could have done differently. It's really okay to think about what you want and to take care of yourself in all ways. It's okay to make mistakes. You really can choose to learn from them. And then forgive everyone. Release the people who've hurt you so that you don't attract that same thing again. And Louise Hay in her books wrote about that. She attributes to curing herself of breast cancer to forgiving every single person that she thought had harmed her or slighted her, that she was holding resentment against, including herself. She was kind of angry at herself, and she was angry at God. So she took a look at all those things. Now, she passed away a couple years ago at 90 years old. She owned Hay House Publishing and published Wayne Dyer and so many different people. So all of her books are very good, and you can look her up on Google. You can even look up, like, let's say you're having knee pain. You can look up knee pain, Louise Hay, and it'll tell you emotionally what that means when you're having knee pain. So here's my happy man and his little happy mini man. Or Trey, look how little he is in this picture, you guys. He's probably only 5 or 6 years old in this picture. And we were out across the bay in Homer, Alaska, kayaking and doing some stuff. So I got more than I bargained for with Dan and Trey. But Trey, as you guys know, is the absolute love of my life. He just turned 13.
Wow.
So be more involved on purpose on this one, intentionally with what I can create in my life. So here's what I was writing down when I first got into doTERRA. I want to take my doTERRA business to the highest level. I want to be presidential diamond. Now, in the very beginning, I just looked at the pay plan. And I was like, wow, what's a diamond? I need to be a diamond. I'm going to have retirement money and buy a ranch and replace my income here. Need to be at least a diamond. What's a diamond? Well, it says a diamond has 4 silvers. What's a silver? Well, here it says a silver needs 3 people at 3,000. Okay, I guess I better figure out how to be a silver. But it didn't take very long, within a year or so, to realize not only was diamond attainable, but so is blue diamond and so is presidential. Because you can really tell when you go to events the whole opportunity of this company and the feel of the company. So I want to believe that I could earn $50,000 a month or more and pay off that awesome ranch I want in Idaho. So there again, if you've never done that before, the most my clinic ever grossed in Alaska is about $35,000, maybe a little bit more. But I had a couple secretaries, my rent, my overhead, my supplies I have to get in, workman's comp, insurance. My take-home pay might be about $4,000 a month after working that hard. So how am I going to make $50,000 a month in a network marketing. You guys, it seemed like totally ridiculous. And affirmations are that way. Sometimes you say an affirmation and your brain goes, liar, liar, pants on fire. So you can't make them a little more truthful for you, a little more believable. But there again, 50,000 was not even really, I really couldn't feel it, put it that way. So some items on my focus on what you want list. So here's what again was writing in the beginning. So same for you this year. Write down what you want to create in your business, not just in your life. So these are still true for me. I want to be creative, competent, and efficient in using technology in order to help others and myself in business. So understand that Betty and I, both you guys, built all the way to Blue Diamond just teaching one class. And we don't use PowerPoints. Okay, so you don't have to master technology right now to do well in this business. We started off, I would just take people to classes. A lot of people think, well, yeah, Dr. Laurie, of course you did really good in this business. You guys know doctors don't usually do well in the business. Okay? They need somebody to help them and pretty much run their whole doTERRA business if you sign up a doctor. I'll just warn you. Okay, so I want to be creative and competent. I want to have time to paint and ride horses and do more fun things. Do more of the things I love. So when you're working your butt off, you usually aren't doing your recreational things, are you? You just work, work, work. And I wanted to be a better communicator as a leader to reach more people and help with connections and learning. And unfortunately, we do that today with technology, don't we? Yeah. So there again, learning how to do that just a little bit better. And I wanted to have a place where my mom could come and live with us and have a stress-free life. So what I want to let you guys know is at this time, my mother was not in my business. I put my mom in the business saying, I want you to have these products. She did not want to do the business. And I was like, you don't have to do the business. I'm going to put you in here and help you earn some product for free. And as soon as you start earning for product for free, you're going to start paying for your stuff. So one day I was online on her account and I saw she had a $900 check. I was like, Mom, you need to start paying for your stuff. So my mom is one of my goals. Her biggest check was almost $5,000. So I don't have to have a place for my mom to come and stay with us and have a stress-free life. We provided that for her in doTERRA. Now, I would advise you, don't do that as a building technique. Because my mom is not a builder, I had to make her a silver. I had to make her a gold. I'd have to make her a platinum, but I luckily have someone else down underneath her that not only hit gold, but is going to hit platinum and gold diamond. All right, my mom's consistent love and care for Wes was our foundation. This is why I've had a big heart to take care of my mom. My mom and dad were married for like 30-some years. I have a brother that was an airborne ranger that killed himself, and a lot of marriages don't make it through that. They already had a pretty rough marriage, but that did them in. They've been divorced for 20 years or more now. But my mom's gentle and kind nature was always there for us to draw upon and still is. And I just want you thinking about that, even with our business. I mean, I have so many young girls in our team that I do feel like I'm their doTERRA mama. Besides helping them with business, we help them with their health and their mindset and getting them to events. It's pretty amazing. I really didn't have any idea what I was taking on. I just wanted to hit this business, get oils on everybody, supplements on everybody. But boy, there's a lot after you get in there to what your team needs. And so I found other things that nourished me when I was growing up: nature, animals, sports, art, reading, horses. And so there again, our doTERRA business is a good vehicle for us to work in and enjoy and make a difference, but also to make some of our other dreams come true. So the influence of even one powerful teacher in your life can change you. So thank God, literally, I had a 6th grade teacher that threw me a lifeline. At a teacher's conference one time, she told my mother, thank God your daughter's not like these other girls. And I was brand new in this school in 6th grade. And boy, the little girls at this school were the rottenest little girls you could ever imagine. I would just find my brother on the playground during recess and play marbles and stuff with him because they were so mean. And of course, then they disliked me even more because I was playing with the boys. I was such a tomboy. I didn't understand all this girl stuff, even in 6th grade. So luckily, I've had many what I consider to be world-class teachers. I was raised around one of the most famous horse people of all time, and the whole world is from the county I'm from. Dr. Versendahl, many of you have heard of me speaking of him, that helped me in my career, nutrition with my health. Awesome college professor I had. My rodeo coach happened to be the producer of the National Finals Rodeo. So thank God he blessed my steps and my ways and surrounded me with great mentors. So I don't really know how I did it, but I do remember in 7th and 8th grade reading self-help books. And to this day, I still kind of like those kind of books. But kids are smart. Even as a kid, I was thinking, this is not right. You know, this is kind of messed up. And I was looking for ways to figure it all out. Okay, let's see if it goes to the next one here. All right. For some reason, it's not going to the next slide. Oh, hang on, everybody. Okay, still there. Oh, there it is. Hopefully, I didn't go back to too many, though. There we go. Oh, maybe I got to use the little mouse thing here. All right. So on the same wavelength, you guys have probably heard this one. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. Your values become your destiny. So I know a lot of us have heard this before, but the one I could find it was attributed to was Gandhi, which kind of surprised me. All right. I have to be very careful here. Positive words for manifesting a positive life. So scientific proof of our thoughts are more powerful than you ever imagined. Removing blocks to your ultimate success in every area of your life is achievable. So change your belief system first to change your life. I'm going to show you some cool things here. Hopefully I'm not skipping slides. What are some of the things that can shape your belief system? Believe it or not, how you felt in the womb. The beliefs and actions of our family around us. We felt our mom's chemistry while we were in the womb. Traumatic and even joyous events. What we hear about ourselves. You can hear a story about yourself as a kid and then you register that as truth. And somebody's telling their version of it. Even if you don't remember it, you start creating false memories or memories around that. What we learn in school and even through reading influences. In nature, perceptions. This is what's really interesting. This will help everybody a lot. This is $1 million tip. Shar, you and I and Jan and all of us could be in an event and something would happen. Let's say we're in a bus and it crashes, heaven forbid. We would all remember something differently. The sound, what happened, everything that was going on. And so people can perceive things and remember things. And sometimes they weren't even accurate at all. They could be backwards, not true. But your perception still forms your beliefs. So sometimes when people are having a little bit of a disagreement or something, or if I'm having something where I'm trying to figure out what's going on with someone, just remember, what are they perceiving? You want to think about how are they looking at this? What are they assuming? Because I wrote, assumptions are the termites of relationships. I think that was Henry Winkler. We can assume something about somebody is totally inaccurate, and it can cause you problems in your relationship. Learn to not be offended. We still choose to be offended. And you say to people, well, what did you mean about that? Or can I have a little more clarity on that? Or let's talk about that a little bit more. So we even choose what we want to believe in the media and carrying an offense for someone else, feeling their feelings. And I really don't know why this thing quit working here. Hang on, guys. Right, what tune are you playing? Everything has to do with frequency and vibration. You can think of yourself as a giant magnet or a tuning fork. What are you resonating and then manifesting? Control your energy valves to immediately change what you manifest. So complaining and gossip, this is one of the main things that we have to control. It's imperative to stop complaining or gossiping as soon as possible and forever. When we complain or gossip, our energy valve is shut. We are resonating in the negative and we attract more of that into our lives. Even if you listen to, sympathize with, agree with someone else who is complaining or gossiping, you're resonating at that frequency and manifesting more of what you are complaining about. So sometimes we listen to somebody gossip and we're being kind of polite, but we need to stop it. We need to say something. We need to say, oh, this makes me feel icky, or oh, I don't want to go down that road, or stand up for that person. And if you get a little naggy thing, if you wouldn't say what you're saying in front of that person, you shouldn't say it most of the time.
Right.
All right, open your energy valves. I'm an open channel for the blessings of God because I have cleared my mind of all resentment, gossip, and negative thinking. Today I release all negative feelings and buried resentments to make room for the abundant success that is mine by divine right. What if these are some affirmations I found just recently and I added those in here. What if you had that on a sticky note right by your desk? Think that might help you while you're on the phone, while you're working with things, or because when you're a leader, people are supposed to call upline, aren't they? That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to call and talk to the upline, and then you have to be really good and not talk to the downline. You don't want to get a reputation at all of that you're not trustworthy to be able to take things to. So my spoken word returns the tide, or my spoken word turns the tide on my finances and releases a river of money into my life. Isn't that awesome?
It's true.
All right, so positive affirmations are your friends. So writing them and saying them out loud, you're declaring that you're no longer a victim. You can find a lot about affirmations. Again, just Google Louise Hay, get her books. Go on YouTube and type in affirmations and listen to ones. I even buy little audio books. The Power of Your Spoken Word is a wonderful one that I've had recently. Powerful affirmations for network marketers, all kinds of ones. Use your don't wants, again, to identify what you do want. Turn negatives into positives. Focus and talk about what you do want. That's helped me a lot when I started doing that. So here's some examples of affirmations that I used in the beginning. I co-create my reality with God. That just really helped me to know that I wasn't in it by myself. I was living up in Alaska. Dan was working full-time away from the office. I had my clinic. And in the beginning, you guys, we didn't have hardly anything, didn't we? We didn't have teaching tools. We didn't have anything. I had to fly down from Alaska to go to everything. Everything in my life brings me closer to God. Because when you go through really hard times, it's not true, but you can feel like, gosh, God's forgotten about me. God, I'm just a little stepchild sitting out here on the step. And it's really not that way, but there again are childhood perceptions. In my childhood, if my dad was upset with you, he gave you the silent treatment. And that's a very punishing thing because that's a threatening with abandonment. Mm-hmm. And I now dare to allow my dreams and visions to come true. Everyone, including myself, is doing the best that they can. Brene Brown talks about that a lot. Just assume the best about people. I've always admired that about Betty. Because me coming from the background that I had, I'm always kind of looking around for what could go wrong, right? And so I love that Betty just believes the best in everybody. She's really good at that. And what God has done for others, he now does for me and more. All right. Create a dream vision board. This is a fun way to put goals and dreams on paper. It's very important on your vision board to put a picture of yourself that you like right in the center. The reason is you don't want to look at your dream board and then cringe. Oh, I'm fat in that picture. Oh, it was a bad memory. I was at so-and-so's wedding. It was a disaster or whatever. My friend Linda Yoder, she didn't like any of her pictures of herself as an adult. She found one that she loved of herself as a child on the beach. It's really important how you feel when you look at this dream board. And you can make dream boards and they're just fun. Cut out stuff for a long time before you make one. Just cut out, it doesn't have to be exactly what you want. What really makes you feel good when you look at this dream board? And so you can look at that dream board every day in the morning before bed. We've had ours put away and we've got them out again and we're kind of recreating them and adding to them. And we have a doTERRA office right in the center of the house now. We're helping Trey do his first one and we're going to keep those out. Include powerful words, especially words of how it's going to feel. And I was telling Shar earlier today, I learned a new thing at the Deb Erickson where you just tap on your dream board and you say, I will, I am, I can, now. And so there's even more things that you can do with, but you need to start with that. What is the opposite of success? Not trying. So I'm not saying you absolutely have to go to the mastermind event, but I do like it for a different reason. Some of the other events, you're learning more about product, or you're learning more about team building, you're learning more about being a network marketer, but Mastermind is about elevating our whole profession as network marketers, because network marketing has kind of gotten a bad name through the decades. And so we want to be a whole new version of that. They have amazing speakers. Some of them were the funniest people I've ever heard in my life, funnier than any comedy club that you went to. They had great topics, how to prospect, follow up, leader, but they all had one thing in common. They never quit. They kept enrolling people, and they said it is a numbers game. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, let's roll 1,000, throw the plates at a wall and see who sticks. I'm not talking about that. We take care of our customers and our people in doTERRA, but we need to keep enrolling. And then the thought-provoking teaching at this event, on stage, you have to make more than $100,000 a month to be on stage. And I was thinking, after listening to all of them, and they're just so normal, down to earth and real, it's the first time I thought, well, why can't I make $100,000 a month? Not 20, not 50, like, why can't it be me? All right, so speaker Randy Gage. A lot of people don't really care for him. I like him because he's direct. For me, just give me the truth, hard, cold truth. I can handle it. It's like ripping that Band-Aid off. Just let me know. You can't fix it if you don't tell me what's going on, right?
Exactly.
Again, part of that's from my childhood. Would somebody just tell me what's going on around here, you know? So he taught 65% of our people drop out because we treat them like leaders when they are not. And that doesn't mean what you think it does. We should not be calling our people leaders and this and that. And they're not enrolling. They're not coming to events. They're not leaders. So what are you doing to the rest of the team when you're calling someone who's obviously not a leader, my builder and my leader? And if you're calling them your builder and your leader and you're not doing anything, and they think, wow, that's all I got to do to be a builder and a leader is not do anything. So there has to be some requirements there. And you don't really fail until you blame someone else. That's really powerful.
It
You
is.
gotta be super, super, super guard yourself that you're not blaming anybody for anything. One of the biggest reasons any one of us fail is if you have a negative personality. Now, here's what's interesting. Most people aren't going to tell you you have a negative personality. Can you think of people on your team you know 100% for a fact their problem is their personality? Okay, so what can we do with those people? We need to get them on the strength. Yeah, love them and the strength finders, and they're in our group for a reason, aren't they? So I really liked hard-hitting honesty on Randy Gage. So who is Bruce Lipton? Let's get into this biology of belief. He's an internationally recognized leader in bridging science and spirit. He's famous for his work in cloning. He was a professor for many years at Wisconsin School of Medicine, pioneering studies at Stanford University, controversial in his research and teaching about the biology of belief. So biology of belief, just like a single cell, the character of our lives is determined not by our genes, but our responses to the environmental signals that propel life. And I talk about this, my kitty's jumping up here. I talk about that in my adrenal class, that we really need to choose how we respond to things. And having healthy adrenals helps us do that, where we're not flying off the handle and we're not over emotional and stuff, you know, learning how to manage those emotions. Each one of us can change the character of our lives by changing our beliefs. So the new science of epigenetics, which literally means control above the genes, has completely upended our conventional understanding of genetic control. So much to learn from his book. He's got a book, literally the first book is Biology of Belief. The media misleads the public with a never-ending onslaught of stories, presumably identifying a gene that controls this cancer or that malady. 98% of the population believes we're a victim of our genes. So example, the BRCA1 and BRCA2 breast cancer gene, they fail to emphasize that 95% of breast cancers are not due to this inherited gene. Don't you think that's an important piece of the puzzle?
It's very important because women have their breasts removed based on that.
Exactly.
What if, right?
Exactly. So this is not a self-help book that he has. It's a self-empowerment book. The information offers our knowledge of self, and from that knowledge comes the power to control your life. So single gene disorders affect less than 2% of the population. So some diseases like Huntington's, chorea, beta thalassemia, cystic fibrosis, they can be blamed entirely on one faulty gene. Scientists have linked lots of genes to lots of different diseases and traits, but they rarely found that one gene causes a trait or disease. So genes acting alone account for about 2% of our total disease load. So DNA does not control biology, and the nucleus itself is not the brain of the cell. Seriously, when I was in junior high, I learned that the center of the cell, the nucleus, is the brain. Did anyone else?
Yeah, that's what they taught.
So just like you and me, cells are shaped by where they live. Eminent scientist and physician Dean Ornish revealed that by just changing diet and lifestyle for 90 days, prostate cancer patients switched off the activity of over 500 genes. Many of their gene changes inhibited biological processes critical in the formation of tumors. Ponder this fact for even a moment. My beloved Dr. Versendal, women would have a lot of miscarriages, and he'd say, honey, their uterus can't hang on to the baby. You got to strengthen that uterus so that that uterus can hang on to the baby. So he showed me that a lot of people got taught things were genetics. Haven't you heard that Down syndrome is genetics?
Right.
So Versendal was very controversial on that. He was like, if you nourish and feed and help the woman's uterus so that she can give that baby everything that she needs. So he taught. He was my mentor. He died in a head-on car crash about 4 years ago. But 30 years ago, he was teaching that you can alter genetics. Isn't that just amazing?
Crazy.
Okay, so enucleated cells die. So that means they have a cell and they take the nucleus out. Not because they have lost their brain, but because they have lost their reproductive capabilities. Without the ability to reproduce their parts, enucleated cells cannot replace failed protein building blocks nor replicate themselves. So follow me here, you guys, because this is where the science gets a little deep. The nucleus is not the brain of the cell. The nucleus is the cell's gonad. You know what gonads are?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what gonads are. That's like your testicles, your ovaries. Newsflash. So newsflash, the center of the cell is not the brain. Another way to look at it, confusing the gonad with the brain is an understandable error because science has always been and still is a patriarchal endeavor. Males have often been accused of thinking with their gonads. So it's not entirely surprising that science has been inadvertently confused the nucleus with the cell's brain. Dr. Stoyer was there when I presented this, and his eyes got so big. He's like, oh my God. So the origin of this species, Darwin emphasized a struggle for existence. Struggle and violence are not only part of animal and human nature, but the principal forces behind evolutionary advancements. Couple that with Darwin's notion that evolution is random, and you have a world, as poetically described by Tennyson, that can be characterized as red in tooth and claw, a series of meaningless, bloody battles for survival. So Darwin, in his later years, he conceded towards the end of his life that his evolutionary theory had shortchanged the role of environment. Darwin's followers perceived that his thinking was a sign of aging in a now addled mind. Rather than following their master's revised vision, Darwinian evolutionists chose to remain more Darwinian than Darwin. Really careful so I don't skip too many. So what does this have to do with anything we're talking about? If you're living in a dog-eat-dog world, survival of the fittest, this is a belief that affects how you do everything. That's your whole fight or flight, you guys.
Yep.
That's constantly being stressed out. That's your adrenals, that's your cortisol and adrenaline. Okay? If you run your life and your doTERRA business this way, how will you have a good foundation, a big team to lead for the long haul and significant residual income? If you're competitive in a negative way, arguing over context, signing people up in an unethical way, complaining or gossiping, you are asking for more of this in your life. You're also making yourself physically ill. People will not want to stay with you, nor be around you or work with you. Thank goodness I don't see very much of this in our business.
Right.
The whole business. We have a big business, about 40,000 on our team. I don't see much of it, but we do see some of it, and we do see some of it definitely in other teams that want to be on our team, right?
Right.
All right, so let's look at the new biology. So the brain of the cell is the membrane. Think of it as membrane. When you destroy the membrane of the cell dies just as it would if your brain were to be removed. So the cell also becomes comatose when the membrane's receptor proteins are left intact and its effector proteins are immobilized. So to exhibit intelligent behavior, the cell needs both receptor awareness and effector action, proteins in the membrane. Don't we need that too?
We do, yes.
It's not just our cell, it's us, it's our brain.
Yep.
So something to be excited about. Receptor antennas can also read vibrational energy fields, such as light, sound, radio frequencies. Antennas on these energy receptors vibrate like tuning forks. So that's why we can feel people's energy. That's why people can feel us and pick stuff up. We pick up so much more than you'd ever imagine. There's some great exercises that we can do on that. And I excel at this because I've worked in the field of intuition and energy medicine for 30 years now, with muscle testing and different activities and stuff that we've done. So it almost works to the opposite when someone's what's called an empath, because they feel everything.
Right.
So Dr. Versatile taught me to take a deep breath and say to yourself, does this belong to me? And if you're really quiet for a minute, your body, your God, or the Holy Spirit will say, no, this is so-and-so's, or this is that, or whatever, and you can release that. So basically, biological behavior can be controlled by invisible forces, including thoughts. So this is what Bruce Lipton started noticing in the microscope. Stuff would happen in the microscope when he was watching, and it wasn't anything that he had done. So he started thinking, why are these cells changing? What's going on here? There's something else going on. So asking again, what does this have to do with my life and business success? You guys, it's everything. So this is from Bruce Lipton. In my years of teaching in medical school, I had come to realize that medical students in an academic setting are more competitive and backbiting than a truckload of lawyers. They live out of the Darwinian struggle in their quest to be one of the fittest, who staggered her graduation after 4 grueling years in medical school. It's always seemed to be an ironic pursuit for those who are striving to become compassionate healers. Let that sit for a minute. Read that for a second. Think about that. You're supposed to be a compassionate healer, right, loving on people and touching them and looking at them, and then this is what you're taught in school. And I'm not bashing all medical doctors, nothing like that. It's more of the orthodox medicine, the model of it. All right, so it gets better. The way of Darwin, so many are leading defeated or limited lives, not because they have to, but because they think they have to.
It's true.
Survival of the fittest is fear-based and certainly not coming out of a place of abundance. Are you ready to use your conscious mind to create a life overflowing with health, happiness, and love without the aid of genetic engineers and without addicting yourself to drugs?
Yes.
That's $1 million question. Yes. That's where we come in with doTERRA, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
Right, pretty basic concept. You can live a life of fear or you can live a life of love. You have the choice. But I can tell you, if you choose to see the world filled with love, your body will respond by growing in health. If you choose to believe that you live in a dark world full of fear, your body's health will be compromised as you physiologically close yourself down to its protective response. Bruce Lipton. You guys intrigued?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, do you know who Rumi is? Rumi was a poet, and he had a best friend named Shams. And this best friend, Rumi was from a family of wise men, where they had a wise men-like school, like a spiritual school where people paid and came there and sat at his feet and learned. He's a very, very famous person in his day. I believe he might have been from like Persia, but like Pakistan, I think, is probably where it came from. But the village people and the people that came to see him as students got really jealous of Shams, and they killed him, and they killed one of Rumi's sons. And Rumi had so much grief that for 11 or 12 years he walked around a grieving pole and spoke words that people scribed. It's the greatest literary feat known to mankind, Rumi's work. So Rumi knew that for our human babies and adults, the best growth promoter is love. A lifetime without love is of no account. Love is the water of life. Drink it down with heart and soul. So Einstein is still so many light years ahead of most people in the world. So the most beautiful and profound emotion we can experience is a sensation of the mystical. It is the power of all true science. And a lot of people mistakenly believe that Einstein did not believe in God, and that is not true. He wanted to know the very thoughts of God, the whole creation process. And he knew we had an orderly universe and that this came from somewhere. So he literally said, I want to know the very thoughts of God. He rejected a lot of the man-made religion and war and stuff like that. Okay, so effector proteins. These are lots of jobs to be done for the smooth operation of cells. It turns out our cells are constantly recharging biological battery. There are 3 different effector proteins: the channel, cytoskeleton, and enzymes. So consider the new biology. The new biology casts life as a cooperative journey among powerful individuals who can program themselves to create joy-filled lives. You guys, what if we thought about our doTERRA team like that? Can you see us all in this little petri dish? You're you create this amazing thing. The fully conscious mind trumps nature, which is the environment. And another thing that I learned in one of my psychology classes, this is why a lot of addicts can't beat addiction. They still hang around all their addict friends. Okay, so your environment is stronger than willpower, and that goes for everything. When we realize our positive and negative beliefs control our biology, we can use this knowledge to create lives filled with health and happiness. I'm starting to see the cell membrane is indeed a structural and functional equivalent of a silicon chip. Biological behavior and gene activity are dynamically linked to information from the environment, which is downloaded into the cell. The cell is a programmable chip whose behavior and genetic activity are primarily controlled by environmental signals, not genes. So we are the drivers. DNA may hold a key, but our bodies are the vehicle. We may use the key to start our vehicle, but it does not control it. The driver does. Who is the driver?
We are.
This is what he discovered in his research. It's our thinking. So he was an agnostic. An agnostic is a person that just is, prove it to me about God. So rather than focusing on creating harmonic energies in my life, I was going through life willy-nilly, mindlessly expending energy. And again, we do that in our lives and our business. That is the equivalent of heating a house in the dead of winter while leaving the doors and windows open. I started closing those doors and windows by carefully examining where I was wasting my energy. Again, I talked about this in our adrenal class. We need to be aware of how we conserve our energy, how we're creating it, how we're spending it. It was easy for me to close some of them. For example, it was easy to get rid of energy draining activities like those deadly faculty parties. It was harder to get rid of the energy draining defeatist thinking in which I habitually engaged. Thoughts consume energy as surely as does marathon running. Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
Think of that word picture. I wouldn't attempt to run a marathon, would you?
Nope, not my thing.
No. But yeah, that's how much energy we're burning with our thinking. So quantum physics is relevant in biology. Biologists are committing a glaring scientific fact by ignoring its laws. The flow of information in a quantum universe is holistic. So what that means is all this energy needs to be taken in consideration, and it needs to be addressed for the whole person, doesn't it? So my colleagues and I trained our students to disregard the healing claims attributed to acupuncture, chiropractic, massage therapy, prayer. In fact, we even went further. We denounced these practices as a rhetoric of charlatans because we were tethered to a belief in old-style Newtonian physics. The healing modalities mentioned above are based upon the belief that energy fields are influential in controlling our physiology and our health. How? How do you like that one?
That's crazy.
So ponder this. A 2003 study concludes that iatrogenic disease, this is caused by medical personnel or procedures, is actually the leading cause of death in the United States, and that adverse reactions to prescription drugs are responsible for more than 300,000 deaths a year. And I'm not even talking about the opioid crisis right now.
Right. Yep.
And I believe that the mind has been dismissed in medicine as a result, not only of dogmatic thinking, but also of financial considerations. If the power of your mind can heal your sick body, why should you go to the doctor? And more importantly, why would you need to buy drugs?
Right.
So another example, you probably already know the specific note from a human singer can shatter glass. So the waves from that person's voice cause the goblet's atoms to vibrate faster. So the same is true in medicine when doctors, they can use a harmonic frequency to dissolve kidney stones.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Conscious mind, you guys. We're on the downhill part here. Thanks for hanging in here with me. The conscious mind represents the seat of our personal identity, source, or spirit. It can think about the future or disconnect from the present moment. Review the past as it solves problems in our head. It holds our wishes, desires, and aspirations for life. It is a mind that conjures up our positive thoughts. Subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is primarily a repository of stimulus response tapes derived from instincts and learned experience. Fundamentally habitual, it will play the same response signals over and over again. That's like Pavlov's dog.
Yep.
How many times have you found yourself going ballistic over something trivial like a toothpaste cap? You have been trained since childhood to carefully replace the cap. When you find the tube with its cap left off, your buttons are pushed.
It's true.
All right, look at this. How's that snake make you feel?
Ooh.
Kind of disgusting.
Yeah, he's not my friend.
Yeah, and some people just would freak out and can't even look at it. My grandma, if you had a little rubber snake in the house, she about had a heart failure, and then she beat you with a broom. So, but I was taught differently about snakes. We catch bull snakes, and we loved them because they eat rats and mice in the fields, and they eat rattlesnakes. So I think snakes are really beautiful, and I can pick up snakes. I don't love them. I don't want to own them. I don't want to hold them all over, but I'm not deathly afraid of snakes like a lot of people because of the way I was raised. So right now, if a snake could jump out of this screen and land on your desk, you'd probably run from the room screaming.
Yeah,
so we have a program, see snake, snake bad, see snake, run. That's why even rubber snake, somebody can do that. So this could be perceived as threatening to life and limb. This is a protective response.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but what if you were a herpetologist? That's a person that specializes in reptiles. They would be thrilled by this bonus of the snake popping out. First, they would try to figure out if it's harmless or not. They would proceed to hold it and watch its behavior with delight. They would think that you were overreacting, as not all snakes are dangerous. Same snake, same stimulus, yet greatly different responses. So think of a situation of how we overreact to people or situations or things, or the last day of the month in the business, right?
Yeah.
I feel very, very blessed that I only have one person on my team that caused me so much grief, and I was actually able to replace that person. But, you know, I've been very, very fortunate with a wonderful team that we have. The ripple effect, as parents, we need to realize and understand the role we play in programming our children's beliefs and the impact those beliefs have on our children's lives. As a former child, the insight into our programming, its impact upon our lives is quite revealing. So crazy makers, when your buttons are pushed, let this be a signal right away. Okay, this year, you guys, when your buttons get pushed, you write it down and think, I'm going to look into this a little deeper. Because you can remove that to where that button does not get pushed. This is a sign for your subconscious mind. You've been programmed and probably want to take a look at it and change it. Turn those negatives into positives.
Yep.
So when it comes to neurological processing, the subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious. So your conscious mind runs the show at best 5% of the time, meaning your subconscious mind is running the show 90% of the time. So therefore, goals, wishes, desires, positive thinking alone will not reprogram the subconscious mind. And I think I have a slide in here where you guys have all seen this one, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, Shar, what is that up on top? That's what we're thinking every day, right? That we're aware of.
Yeah, that's our conscious mind. The subconscious mind is below, and on top is what everybody thinks, and below is the reality of what it really is like.
So it's very important, you guys, to think really positive things before you go to bed, or maybe even put something on even at night if it doesn't keep you up of what you're listening to. And boy, Jesus was very clear about that in the Bible, wasn't he, about renewing of our mind?
Yep.
Like we can do all of this in a scriptural way as well. It doesn't have to be any kind of new age thing. Beliefs control biology. So our responses to the environment are indeed controlled by perceptions, but not all of our learned perceptions are accurate. We have the capacity to consciously evaluate our responses to environmental stimuli, change old responses anytime we desire. Once we deal with the powerful subconscious mind. So what I've done, Shar, that's helped me tremendously overcome so many things in my life, and especially a few years ago when I found Louise Hay, when I would read down through the affirmations, you want to look which one really grabs me. And you know what it was? It was the ones on I am safe now. Because I've had many cases in my life where I was in mortal danger. And so your body can overreact like that. So I take deep breaths. I don't have to do it hardly ever now. That was important to get my adrenals well. I am safe now. I don't have to run or freeze or fight, right?
Right.
Growth and protection. So growth and protection mechanisms are fundamental behaviors required for an organism to survive. So our entire cellular lining of your gut is replaced every 72 hours.
Wow.
Believe that?
I do believe it.
Your body expends a significant amount of energy daily just doing that.
Yep.
So cells retreat from toxins just like humans retreat from mountain lions and muggers in dark alleys. They gravitate towards nutrients just like humans gravitate to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so yeast, mold, fungus, parasites, you guys, they love sugar. That's the real reason we want to get off sugar, not because of diabetes, and you know, those are all good reasons, but you know, they're going to feed those kind of creatures in your body. Prolonged protection response inhibits the creation of life-sustaining energy. So the mechanisms that support growth protection cannot operate optimally at the same time. So in other words, cells cannot go both forward and backwards at the same time. So as a human, we restrict our growth behaviors when we shift into these protective modes. This is what it means, Shar, about it doesn't pay anyone for any of us to play small.
Right.
So you and I talked about this. We're really resistant about branding ourselves.
Yeah.
You and I are really resistant about being all over social media. But there is a classy way to do that. And there's a way that we can do it that is good for us and for our teams. And it's important that our teams know this is not how we built our business. We weren't on social media. Not that that's right or wrong, but you can build it the way you are right now. But we want to expand this so we're not playing small.
Right.
So fear kills. Examine how your fears and ensuing protection behaviors impact your life. What fears are stunting your growth? Where did these fears come from? Are they necessary? Are they real? Are they contributing to a full life? So Shar, I do have another PowerPoint that I did about helping people overcome the fear of public speaking. Because if we can't get our teams to do a one-on-one or teach a class for 2 or 3 people, this is one of the biggest things that shuts our businesses down.
Absolutely, because we can't be there all the time to do that.
If we control our fears, we gain control of our life. So treating your adrenals with supplements, rest, essential oils, hydration is helpful in lessening the effects of stress on your body. Essential oils offer immediate support. What if our only goal this year is we're going to be aware of stressing less? Because awareness is the first key, right?
Yep.
We can be aware of all the things that are stressing us and how much of it can we eliminate. So I have even just a little task for Trey now. His job is a couple times during the day to go fill all the diffusers in the house for me. How much time do you think I spend a day if I want to fill those diffusers? You know, maybe an hour. This empowering subconscious programs so they can be quickly rewritten. So you can use hypnotherapy, affirmations, body-centered therapies, energy psychology, Bach flower remedies, homeopathy. Get serious about positive affirmations in thoughtful and consistent ways. So that's free, you guys. We can do that. Also, the tapping. That tapping, emotional freedom technique. Be very helpful to relieve stress instantly on the spot. So let's translate this into our lives and doTERRA business. Our belief contributes to or destroys our growth and success in every part of our life, including business. What you resonate with, you create. Your belief can infect or exhilarate your entire family or your team. How powerful is that? Your belief
super powerful.
can infect or exhilarate your entire family or your team. Not just ourselves. Think about this whole collective whole again. Instead of the survival of the fittest, thriving in life is based upon the work, help, and cooperation of all. So 3 great moms. My daughter has 2 more children now. That little baby in her hands is a 5-year-old now. Little Gunner is here with me. When I'm holding, he's one of my grandsons, was born without an ear. That little fake ear now. He woke up after surgery with his fake ear and he was all mad. What did they do with his baby ear? Right here at the bottom, as you're looking at the screen, far right, that's my little grandson that was very severely showing signs of autism, wouldn't look at you, wouldn't speak. He's here with me today. And he started talking at 4 when we started using oils on him. And then here's my dad. So this is proof that miracles happen. We were out on a fishing boat. My dad was being kind of ornery with Trey, and I was finally going to speak up. And little precious Trey said, "You sure are mean, old grandpa."
Out of the mouths of babes, right?
Hated my dad. You know, a lot of people that are like that, do you know they don't even realize how insensitive they are and what they're doing to other people?
Yeah.
And when you do that back to them, he was crushed.
Aww.
So he's done everything possible to try to make it up to Trey. He's taught him how to shoot. And so Trey takes things very literal. My dad was at the house recently I'm out on the deck, I'm on the phone doing some kind of doTERRA stuff, and Trey brings my dad a little shot glass of water. And my dad's very, very, very gruff redneck. He swore and was like, what the heck, and what the Sam blankety blank, and you know. And I looked over, and Trey was looking kind of crushed. So I put the phone down. I said, Dad, I go, did you happen to ask Trey to bring you a little glass of water? My dad looks at me. I go, did he bring you a little glass of water? And my dad starts chuckling. I go, you got to remember, Dad, he's very literal. He brought you exactly what you asked for. So that also proves my point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are we asking for?
Yep.
He got exactly what he asked for. People like Trey are probably more in tune than the rest of us, as far as I'm concerned, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so here's heart tonic. So I'm going to end this with a couple recipes for everybody. I'll leave that up there for a minute. So you just take 5 drops of helichrysum, 4 drops of cypress, 3 drops of lang lang, 2 drops of marjoram, 2 drops of rose or geranium, and wild orange. And you could just put that in like a little eyedropper and stick it in the diffuser a few drops at a time. You could put all of those in a 10 ml roller bottle or even a smaller roller bottle and fill it up with coconut oil. Rub that right on your sternum, put it on your wrist, put it on your ear bones, and I open my heart to receive love.
That's awesome.
All right, so there's an expression, it's the start that stops most people. Just get started, right, Shar?
Yep.
Right.
I like to say start ugly. Just do it.
Yes. So we love the grounding blend. Okay, balance. A little bit of Melissa. Grapefruit, Siberian fir. Put all those in a roller bottle and then a little fractionated coconut oil. Put them in a bottle where you can do a little dropper and put it in the diffuser. I put that many drops in my diffuser all the time. I don't know about you guys. I know a lot of people just do 1 or 2. I just dump it in there.
Oh, I do lots. Yeah.
So again, the wrist, bones behind the ears, over the heart and sternum, the base of the skull. How about a new door in my life stands open before me? I actively embrace the opportunities that come with change. So they're again using your affirmations with these. And the confidence booster shot. So balance, bergamot, coriander, wild orange, all these are really good for self-care. Bergamot is really good for people struggling with like just low self-esteem. It's also the top oil to diffuse in your home if you're having anger and aggression and negativity in the home. Balance is the oil we used when writers started talking on that. Trey got rid of some very severe palsies in his wrists. Trey's birth mom drank quite a bit of alcohol while she's pregnant with him, and he's had so many health issues. You couldn't tell now he's probably the healthiest kid out there anywhere, but he couldn't even ride his bicycle because his wrists were so stiff, and we were able to get rid of that in just a matter of just weeks. Coriander is an oil that a lot of people don't know much about. It's one that you can take internally. It's the #1 oil, the most important oil if you're trying to really help your blood sugar. I'll just put it that way. Put it in some capsules with some other oils. But it's also for self-care. Men do it too, but women are famous for taking care of everybody but themselves. So when I smell coriander straight, I don't really care for the smell. But when I mix it with the balance, the bergamot, and the wild orange, it smells incredible. People will go right to my diffuser at the clinic and just stick their face right in the diffuser and say, what is in here? It's just draws you in. And I did that on purpose for myself because coriander is the oil for self-care, and I don't like the smell of it. You guys know what we've talked about in class. Sometimes you don't like the smell of something, right? It might be that you really need that one. And later on, you might start liking and craving that smell. So for me, when I smelled that coriander in there and I liked it with all the other things, it was a reminder again, when I smell coriander, about self-care. I am confident and self-assured to be a good one to go with the bergamot. All right, I wanted to talk about black pepper just for a couple minutes. Been fascinated with this oil for a long time. Black pepper essential oil blend invites individuals to dig deeper with the less understood parts of themselves. Russ, how important do you think that would be on working on all this iceberg we have down underneath the surface?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's key.
whether one's true feelings and motives are acknowledged or not, they continue to exist. Black
Right.
pepper reignites the soul fire, fueling motivation, high energy, and hastening the healing process. Why so many people are feeling good taking this oil internally as well. Like to put it in just coconut oil or put it in something or just rub it on your neck or your shoulders. It's just really great for discomfort. but it gives an individual strength to cover some challenges and issues they carry inside, invites them to live in integrity with yourself. And that also makes me wonder about why this oil and clove are so good for people that are trying to stop oral addictions, whether it's be chewing on their fingernails, chewing tobacco, smoking cigarettes. So clove, they say put a little dab on your tongue. The black pepper, they say that you can diffuse it just to kind of help those anxious feelings. All right, black pepper. This is a little recipe. I'll leave that up for a little bit. You might have people writing. You take 4 drops of black pepper, 2 drops of vetiver, 2 drops of frankincense, add a little bit of myrrh if you think if you're working on mother issues or if you have them. I think everybody has issues with their mother to some degree, but some on a very serious note, like maybe moms, people that were given up for adoption, or people who, even if your mom just died recently and you're missing her, that could still be a mom thing. It doesn't have to be a tragic heart thing. 2 drops of cinnamon bark, 2 drops of lavender. Now in this blend, you can't hardly smell that lavender. So if you like the smell of lavender, put more in there. And ylang-ylang, especially if you're struggling with any kind of addiction, but it's also for harmonious relationships. So I'm committed to manifesting my life's purpose consciously and subconsciously, which is what this whole talk is about. So,
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's the last slide. You ready? You must be the change you wish to see in the world.
Yeah. Amen.
I hope that gives you guys a lot to think about. I hope I inspired you a little bit, rattled your cage a little. I love you to pieces.
We love you too. Thank you so much. That information was fantastic. My phone's been blowing up. My inbox is blowing up.
This is very thought-provoking for sure.
Yeah, very, very thought-provoking. It's so good.
And I want to say something to you, Shar, because at this Deb Erickson thing I went to, I'm really not a person that ever has played small. Now, when I was little, I was shut down because I was so shy and I had this, overly boisterous, kind of scary father, overcome all that. But I never really thought I played small. But because of that, I realized I do wait until it's like safe to say something. I don't want the attention to be on me. So I did realize there were a few little things. And another one was I never ever dummy myself down. You guys that all know me well enough know I don't dummy myself down. However, I do try to keep stuff at a layman's term and for beginners, and I'm very aware of that in my business. If people think, oh, I've got to be Dr. Laurie, I have to have all these degrees and be able to speak like that and do this. Everybody thinks I speak in front of hundreds of people and thousands of people because they see a few things on Facebook. You guys, I took 2 people to a class. I drove to a class and they signed up. The lady came and taught for me. 21 people came, 18 signed up. You guys, that's how I got started.
Just like we did. Same thing.
I just want to encourage you, keep it simple, keep it at the beginner's level. I personally don't say that I'm an essential oil expert and all this and that because people think that's what they have to be to do the business. So a lot of people probably would consider me an expert. I still don't consider myself an essential oil expert because I'm learning every day. And even in my nutritional background with all my years of experience and all the things that I've seen, Shar, that's why I do the business. That is my why. I would do this business even if you didn't get paid because I love getting those texts. Guess what my son did today, or this or that, or even the dog recently that they probably were going to have to, she might not make it because she ate a bunch of ibuprofen. So it damaged her liver and her blood vessels, and she needed to dry up her milk. She had 10 3-week-old puppies. And they needed to dry up her milk so the puppies wouldn't get that in their system. So we used some peppermint oil and coconut oil and dried up her milk. But I said, why don't you give her some of this copaiba? You guys, within 2 days, all of her blood tests were totally normal.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that gives you a little insight into me. This is why I do doTERRA. I'm never going to quit. I'm going to keep getting oils on people. And I just encourage you to do the same, everybody, because we are changing lives. That's not just a corny motto that doTERRA has. 1 drop can change a life.
It can. It absolutely. I've had so many conversations recently with people just in the last 4 days about, things that are changing people's lives. Just 1 drop of oil. And it's super important. And we just so appreciate you and we love you. You are just you're so full of beautiful information, and how you present it, it's beautiful. It's perfect. And We
Thank
just
you so much.
appreciate you. I love that you're willing to get in here and do this for us. And we just wanted to let you know that, you know, we have the utmost respect, and you are a beautiful woman, and we appreciate you as one of our leaders.
Well, thank you. You guys will be hearing more from me like this, and I look forward to hearing more from you too. Also.
Awesome. Thank you so much for presenting for us. Guys, just so you know, she has, I have to read my notes here, but Dr. Laurie's got a few more things for us. She has a dream board and affirmation presentation that she's working on putting together. So when she gets that together, we'll have her back in and we'll do this again, because gosh, she's just got so much great info to share with us.
And I have I have beautiful slides for my castor oil class, which everybody absolutely loves. And so, yeah, we actually have them done, but you know how you just kind of have to make sure a couple slides are compliant, especially if we're going to release these. So thank you so much. Well, Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. We love you. Have a great evening, and say hi to Dan for us.
That's right.
Yeah, they're being awful quiet, aren't they? I got them locked in the back bedroom here. They're probably on.
Well, give them hugs for us. Thank you so much
guys.
for helping us. Bye, Laurie.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see here. What am I gonna do? Hey guys, okay, so nobody leave, because we have a drawing that we're gonna be doing, and if you leave, you won't get to participate in the drawing. That's the dealio. Let's see here. So Russ has to, that's what I was trying to do. Okay, so we're gonna do the drawing, and let me see. Okay.
Do we have any odds and ends we want to take care of here?
Yeah, so Russ is going to take care of the odds and ends, and I am going to write down all the names.
All right, so that was amazing. Dr. Laurie hit it out of the park, and I'm just going to follow it up with just one thing that we're working on this month. It's one of the promos, and that is the reactivation program. The last time they did this, we had so much success downline as a whole. We all did very good. How it works is if you have anyone who hasn't ordered in at least 4 months, so between 4 months and 12 months, they have the opportunity to, if they place a 100 PV standard order, they can get a free breathe oil. If they do a 100 with PV order with it's a Laurie Loyalty Rewards order, then they get the breathe and the on guard for free. Okay. So then, if you think about it, if they do 125 before the 15th, they're going to get the breathe, the on guard, and then the product of the month, which is grapefruit. And then, of course, if they do it by the 15th and they do a 200 PV loyalty rewards, they're going to get the frankincense, the grapefruit, the on guard, and the breathe. And I believe that's somewhere around 190 retail value if they do the whole thing. And like I said, last year they did this. We got several people personally, you know, that Char and I have enrolled, that we got back on board. In fact, we still have several of them that are on LRP to this date. So there's another thing behind this reactivation program. And if you're doing this as a business and you have a team, it's the opportunity to re-engage with people. Mm-hmm. You have an excuse to get a hold of them, whether it be via text, phone call, email. It gives you a chance to talk with them again and have them re-engage with the products as a customer. So getting these folks back on board also as a business-wise, it's going to help you with increased volume. It's going to help you with Power 3 structure, and it's going to help you with rank restructuring. Now, there are a couple of keys to this whole thing. So the program is the reactivation programs is 4 months to 12 months, if it's past 6 months, then you have the opportunity to change the sponsor on that. So if it's someone you personally enrolled and you have them and you put them somewhere in your team and it's not really helping there, you can have them change their sponsor and move to another area of your business. The key to this is you have to make sure that they send in an email to placements, so placements at doTERRA. And in that, you have to, say that you're changing the sponsor to, and then fill in blank. There's a template that we have on Learn and Share, LTTF Learn and Share Facebook group. Shar put that on this morning. Or get with your upline silver leader or above, and they can go over you with some scripts, the template, the send to placements, so on and so forth. If they have been more than 1 year, I know the program is between 4 months and 12 months, but let's say they've been 13 months they've been out. So you can have them call customer service to see if they qualify for the promotion. And of course, if they want to change, they can actually change enroller and sponsor if they've been more than 1 year. But that all has to be done through customer service and through placements. Okay. The key is to have that all done before they place their order. Okay. Now, do we have any questions about any of this?
Somebody was just asking if they were going to be able to watch this later, and I'm pretty sure that Laurie asked me, because obviously it's recording, and so she wants to share it in Discover. So it will be posted in Discover Essentials, I'm pretty sure. I'll have the recording, but I won't have it right away because it has to, it's kind of crazy. It's technology.
Yeah, it goes through a process.
It goes through a process, and because you guys are so awesome, there were 21 people on this, and I so appreciate that.
Guys, we more than doubled the last month.
So good, and
if we can keep this momentum going and you guys get the word out to your teammates.
The information is so good, right? The information. So I bet you're sitting here right now watching this with Dr. Laurie, and you're thinking to yourself, I sure wish that so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so had been on this, right? That's why you're asking for the recording. And so the lesson here is get them on, right? Send them the link, send them the registration information, get them on these, because I'm not going to stop doing these.
And this is the content. I love it. Yeah, this is the content you guys are going to get.
This is the quality.
It's going to be more of the same every month.
We've got some more heavy hitters. I mean, I asked Laurie if she would keep coming back, and of course she said yes, right? She loves you guys. She loves us. She loves you guys. But we have Betty. We have Lil. I told Russ I'm even going to try to get Justin Harrison on here, and I'm afraid of him. I'm just going to say.
I'll ask it.
Right. I don't know why he intimidates me, but that is just the tip of the iceberg, because there are 400 other diamonds that we have exposure to that if I asked anybody, they would say, sure. I just have to line it up with their schedule. So this is what we are after with this. So it is in your best interest to share this and get your friends and family on it, because there was nothing in here that everybody doesn't need to hear, right? Everybody needs all of this information. It's so good. So I'm so pleasantly surprised and so happy about the attendance, and I appreciate you guys did that. And so I love it, and I thank you so much for that. And what?
You pick one out of your hand?
No, I'm shaking them up.
Oh.
So I've got all
the. Do I need to get a baseball cap?
No.
No.
No, you don't need a cap.
Okay.
They're in my hand. There's only 21 of them. It's okay. It's all good. Let me see here. We need to have this call open for Discover Essentials. You know, I did, Chrisanne. I sent it to Alicia, and I told Betty, and they were going to post it, and I'm not sure. I think, you know what? I'm going to retract that, because I'm pretty sure that Betty did post it. I'm pretty sure that she posted it as an event, you know, and so it gets pushed down in that feed. But so she didn't do it as an event. She shared it as a post. So, yeah, because
we'll work with her, and we'll get a better way to make sure it
gets out there. But I just love this. Don't you guys love this? I think it is so exciting. And that's why I kind of went on my little rant the other day, because it's disappointing to me when you guys aren't taking it seriously. These people have the goods.
Yeah,
right?
This makes us happy tonight.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm so pleased. I appreciate you guys for stepping up here. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad that you got the information from Brenna. And again, this is open to anybody. This is open to everybody, anybody, all teams.
All teams.
It's not just for our group. We want everybody to benefit from all of this goodness. Okay, so we're going to do the drawing. Ready?
I'm ready.
Is everybody ready?
Cleo's ready.
Okay, I've got all the little slips in here. Can you see your names in there? All right, you're going to pick.
Take.
Okay, pick one. Don't look, just pick one.
I got one.
You got one?
Got one. Yep.
Let's see. Felicia. Way to go, Felicia. What did she win? I didn't even say what we were giving away.
A 1972 Pinto.
No. I was going to give away an emotional oil, and so it'll be a surprise. How's that, Felicia?
Surprise emotional oil.
It's going to be a surprise emotional oil that supports belief. So I'm going to get out my emotions book, and I will go find out what emotional oil supports belief, and I will pop that in the mail to you.
Yay!
Thank you guys for joining us. I want to give one more quick plug for our Mastering Your Metabolism group. I loaded the content today. I loaded all of the posts. I'm going to be doing lives. I'm going to be on the road actually in Arkansas that week, but I'm going to be doing lives. You're not going to want to miss this. It's an open group. It's not open, it's closed, but it's open to anybody. So if you have people that you've shared with that are kind of sitting on the fence, that aren't sure that they want to get involved with these crazy oils, share this with them. It's about the metabolism, and I'm going to give you my quick little thing. All right, so I had been going along taking Yaropalm, just like everybody else was. 2 drops in a capsule with 2 drops of turmeric every morning. And I kept telling everybody, nothing is happening for me. Nothing. I'm not feeling anything. I'm not dropping weight. I'm not losing pant sizes. And I was kind of getting frustrated with it. And, but you know what I did eventually notice was that my hot flashes had gone away. And so I told Russ, I'm going to be adventurous, because I was taking a double dose of phytoestrogens. I was taking 2 phytos in the morning and 2 phytos at night, which is kind of bad because I was double doing it. But that's what I needed to control my female 55-year-old problems. So I took off 50% of that. So I went back to doing just the regular dose of 1 phyto in the morning and 1 phyto at night, only because I saw a post that somebody said that it helps with female issues. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this. Okay, so I went off of my phyto, and hot flashes be gone is what I call this thing, right? You know what that is? It's my metabolism, because your metabolism controls your hormones. They're all connected. So if you're having hormonal issues, you're going to have all sorts of metabolic issues too, right? So metabolism is so key in all of this. And we hear people, they're doing all their diets and they're going to the gym and blah, blah, blah. How about we work on the stuff on the inside? So I am very, very passionate about this, all right? So then you fast forward 2 months. It took 8 weeks of me doing 2 drops of Yaropalm, 2 drops of turmeric regularly for 2 months before I started having a weight thing. And I've lost 6 pounds. And you look at me and you think I don't need to, but trust me, it was there to leave, right? It needed to go. There was places that it needed to go. And I feel great. So this is what is going to be going on in this challenge. It is about your metabolic function. and metabolism controls so many functions in our body. So I'm going to take off my glasses because I was hiding again. I just realized that. And thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate it. And we love you, and promote the next one. I haven't invited our next speaker yet, but I have one in mind. Okay, so I have to make some phone calls this week. As soon as I know who it is, I'll post it up. We love you. Thank you for joining us.
You guys.
Have a great January.
Yes. Let's
Thanks.
get this thing rocking.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Oh, we have one question.
Oh, one question.
Let me see. I got to put my glasses back on. Kim, can you repost the recipes, please? I don't know if I got them all. We will, I will do screenshots because I have the recording, so I'll go back in and do some screenshots, and I'll post those up in the group. All righty. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening. There's Cleo. Bye.